I think there was a positive sentiment in protesters, especially toward Mr. Sarkozy, President Sarkozy, and Mr. Kouchner, the at the time foreign minister of France, which publicly defend in the Iranian public. They say we do not recognize this election as a accurate election. We do not recognize the Ahmadinejad's government. That was exactly what people wanted to hear from Mr. Obama. And imagine the resources Mr. Obama has, the amount of influence Mr. Obama had at that time on international community was far more than Sarkozy. So it would be a moral bust to Iranian public. It would change the course of history if he just said just a simple word, we do not recognize this election. But he wouldn't came with that because he wanted to talk to Ahmadinejad. When you're planning to talk to someone, you have to recognize him came out of the ballot. But unfortunately for Mr. Obama and Iranian public, both they had different opinion. One were dying on the streets of Tehran, and one they're trying to have their negotiations with Mr. Ahmadinejad going on. And I don't think this negotiation ever went anywhere. I don't think negotiation brought anything, just gave some sort of moral boost to Ahmadinejad to torture, kill, arrest more people who were very hopeful in Mr. Obama's election. I think Great Britain played a very positive role, especially people were thankful because of BBC Persian channel that became one of the most popular news coverage of protests in Iran, especially after Mr. Khamenei said now our UK, England, and Great Britain is even more dangerous food than United States. So America was the greatest evil. They say no. Now the UK with this news Persian channel, they are the biggest evil than Americans this time. So that makes people publicly support. People were very critical about China and Russia in particular. For the first time, I think I can't remember occasion in our history that somebody is chanting down with China in the streets of any country. But 10,000s of people, they were chanting down with China and down with Russia in Tehran, answering to the slogan of government who asked them, say, down with United States, down with USA, they would answer down with China, down with Russia. So I think, and I'm wondering how the very, very individual citizens of Tehran, how they had this whole amount of information about the world, the structure of international relation, or the balance of power in Security Council. They just were seeing Mr. Obama as somebody who basically representing United States of America, which they love, but they can't understand where he's trying to go. But then European Union and West as ally, and Russia and China and Venezuela and Belarus and the other governments who is helping, assisting government of Islamic Republic to suppress the protesters as enemies. I think that there was a whole sort of the discourse of, let's say, green movement, international relation discourse going on within protesters.